and this is in St. Lucie County, we are under a tornado warning. So that means conditions are happening where there could be that brief rotation touching ground right now. Again, a good indication that we have winds in opposite direction is when you look at these couplets, when you have green going towards the radar and again, red away from the radar. We are using the Melbourne radar. And as I put this into motion, maybe along River Park, that is where we could see that rotation. Port St. Lucie, again, hope you are indoors right now. Take cover, move away from any windows, move away from any doors, because this could be a tornado, at least on the ground, or at least some very quick rotation. And this is moving off towards the east. So if you live in Walton, you could be feeling the effects of this active, again, tornado warning in this one location. So we do have possible indication that there is some rotation right along River Park to Port St. Lucie. So as we get another look there, we do have some more active severe thunderstorm warnings in place. Of course, we do have the tornado warning in St. Lucie County, but one just issued. This includes Indian River County, so Sebastian, Indian River Shores. This is where we are dealing with a lot of heavy rainfall and also frequent lightning, and also the possibility of some rotation as well. There was a funnel cloud that was reported earlier in Sebastian. Again, back to the active tornado warning that we are under. This is all the way through 6 p.m. So this again includes Port St. Lucie, Riverbend Park. Again, if you do live along the looks like 95, this is where we could see possible some rotation there. So all the way through Eden to Walton and Icona. Can we take this full screen, please, Gabby? I'm asking my producer to take the graphic full screen. And okay, so we're gonna get a better look at this, and I can show you guys some other details there on our Barron services, but let's get you another look there. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Again, we do have this active tornado warning that we will continue to be on with this at least through the end of the warning. This is all the way through 6 p.m. So let's take a look there at analysis. Jay, do we have any reports coming in? Anybody reporting anything? This is where we could see a possible, brief rotation again, where we are indicating where there are couplets going green towards the radar and red away from the radar. So let me take a look there at our velocity, showing winds and wind speeds. So let's get you a look at that as well. If you live in Port St. Lucie to Eden, right now we are seeing winds maybe 19, 20 miles per hour. But let me pull up this one really good indication there on this graphic, showing that we do have the possibility of some hail. This is in the tornado warning, and this is just off towards the east of Walton. So if you live in Port St. Lucie, you are under a tornado warning all the way up to Collin Estates and Icona.
Well, Brooke, I just want to add that Gabby just told me in my ear, our producer Gabby, they are not having any reports right now of tornadic activity happening up in that area. But of course, we will continue to monitor that as this warning continues to go on.
Yes, this is an ongoing warning, at least for the next 10 to 20 minutes, where we could have had some brief rotation, I think, right along Port St. Lucie. So let me take a look there at the velocity once again, where we could have seen maybe some brief rotation if you live in River Park, Port St. Lucie, Walton, Southeast Streets. Let me get a closer look. So this would have been right along Florida 91 North, where we could have seen that brief rotation, Jade. So if you do live in Port St. Lucie, right along Florida 91 South, or even along, let's get you a zoom out there of the Turnpike 95 east of that, that is where we are seeing a possible maybe area that was under or saw some brief rotation from this. Let me get you another look there on our hail tracker.
So Brooke, while you're looking at this right now, what are some of the things that people should be doing right now as they're preparing and they're going through this tornado warning?
Well, under a tornado warning, you want to be away from any windows, away from your walls. If you have your TV going, of course, have it loud so you can hear what we're saying to you. Let me just put this into motion, though. So we are under, again, that tornado warning all the way through 6 p.m. and areas that could be seeing some quick spin up will be between the east of Port St. Lucie, along Southeast Walton Road, Southeast Florist Drive, and also if you do live along the neighborhood there of Southeast Lingate Drive, this is where we're seeing a couplet. So this could be an indication of winds going in opposite directions. If there was any tornadic activity, that would have been one of the areas that we're on, looking out for, especially. So let me just put the next couple of neighborhoods that could see some impact. So if you live in Eldred, Walton, within the next 15 minutes, if this does continue in the same motion. So we are under this tornado warning, but there's also a bunch of other things happening on radar right now. So it looks like it's not as tight as it was earlier. But let me get you there, guys, a look. If you have anything coming up on from the National Weather Service. So they said a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Again, we are looking at the possibility of some rotation there near Indian River County as well as also in St. Lucie County. So let me get you another look at another active warning that we do have that was just issued. And this one is in St. Lucie County, very small, or rather Indian River County. And this includes Sebastian, Roseland, and also Miko, another active warning that's in place. And this one looks like a better indication of Doppler indicated winds away and towards the radar where we can pinpoint possibly a thunderstorm that was producing some of that brief rotation. So let's put that within the next past 15 minutes. Stick with me, guys. This warning is all the way through.
So, Brooke, when we're looking at the screen here, we see green on the right side of the screen, red on the left side of the screen, and you're indicating that this portion in the middle here is where we're seeing this tornado warning. So when people are looking at the radar, I know to me, as someone who is not a meteorologist, it kind of looks like that entire area is affected, but you're talking about this little square here.
Yes, I'm looking at the couplets, so you want to see what's going towards the radar, what's going away from the radar, and that's a good indication if there is any opposite or towards winds. So since there is a lot of shear, and because we did have those strong storms colliding with the sea breeze, you're seeing two different levels of winds going at each other, and that's what creates a rotation, and until it does touch ground, that's when it is considered a tornado. But there was a report that you showed earlier of a funnel cloud in the same location. So let's get you another look at the other active tornado warning that we do have, and this is again in St. Lucie County. And it looks like this one's beginning to weaken, beginning to loosen. If there was any rotation, then we would have been able to, have already pinpointed that already. But over the past hours, we put this into motion. It did look like there was a very strong cell earlier just along Port St. Lucie and St. Lucie. This is moving offshore. Lightning strikes also moving offshore. We do have several active warnings. So we did, mention that today was going to be a pretty active day. Another severe thunderstorm warning, in fact, issued there in central Palm Beach County. And this one is also producing possible winds up to 60 miles per hour and also the possibility of some small hail, Jade. So again, some of the things we're looking at here across the area is some very active storm activity on top of the potential for these storms to produce, rotation.
Right. And the importance of us doing this. So right now, this would be the time for our regular newscast, but we're sticking with these warnings, is because this kind of weather can be extremely dangerous if you're not informed about what's going on. So the reason why Brooke is going back and forth, showing you the different locations, the different warnings from the tornado warnings to the severe thunderstorm warnings is really so you can be informed to pinpoint exactly where they are. And so you know that if you need to get into your basement, if you need to get into your bathroom with no windows or a closet, something like that, in case the weather really starts to pick up in your area.
That's right. So away from any windows, away from any doors, because these storms, these cells are capable of producing damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and also the possibilities, these storms have the record and also producing small hail. There was a report earlier near St. Lucie Airport of hail being reported. So do have the possibility of some hail in the tornado warned area in St. Lucie County. This includes Encona, and Port St. Lucie. Again, this warning extends all the way through 6 p.m. Let's try to make you a better indication so I can show you guys some of the things that are happening here. So we are picking up on some brief rotations still along Collins States Park, according to this feature that we do have there on our Barron model. We could see winds, going at around 13 miles per hour per kilometer there. So let's take a look at the hail tracker. So I'm going to switch things over to our velocity once again so we can pick up on possible, opposing winds. Again, a good indication of where we could see some rotation, or if there is any rotation on the ground. So we have 38-mile-per-hour wind that I am tracking just to the south of Leonard Road. This is in St. Lucie County, just to the south of Walton, 17-mile-per-hour wind. Port St. Lucie, 21-mile-per-hour wind. So we are seeing opposing winds, so there could be the possibility of some brief rotation, possibly in the severe warned area or also in the tornado warned area. So let me put this once again into motion. Got some pretty active weather there going on in St. Lucie County and also in Indian River County. So again, the area that we want to focus in on is going to be right around here. So I want to pinpoint this. If you do live just to the north of North River Shores, this is where we could see some very strong winds in opposing direction. Again, possibility of some hail or even, rotation from a possible tornado. Again, not confirmed just yet, but we will be on the lookout for that or any reports coming in. So I'm going to switch radars.
So Brooke, if I can interject for a moment. So when you pointed out the different wind speeds, the opposing wind speeds, is that kind of what causes that tornadic activity, or it creates that environment that a tornado could occur?
That's right. So you want to look for winds going in opposite directions, and that's a good indication if there is any spin or any, rotation that we're picking up on. Of course, this warning does extend all the way through 6 p.m., and we are going to continue to stay on air through it to keep you guys nice and safe. But I'm switching over on radars, right? I do have several ways to pick up some information, and I am looking at some pretty strong wind gusts if you do live along the Walton Street area. Eden, definitely take cover. Jensen Beach, this is to your west. If this moves offshore, it could become a water spout if there is actual rotation. So we zoom out, areas impacted do include from Collins State Parks, Ancona, Walton, Port St. Lucie, River Park. Again, that is just one of the tornado warnings that are active. Another warning that's active, this includes just to the north of Sebastian, Roseland, and also Mico. Let me take a look again at the velocity because we want to see where the opposing winds are, possible, straight line winds or even some rotation. And it could look like this actual cell over in Indian River County is already beginning to move offshore. So that's a good sign. We want it to move offshore and away from land. So again, I'm probably not going to focus on this one too much. Let me see if the chat has anything going on, Jade. Again, we do have several warnings in place. Radar indicated.
And we did see earlier at the top of the show, we did see that funnel cloud that was in the Sebastian area. A viewer took a picture of the funnel cloud and sent it in to us. So that was pretty good on their part to be able to just look outside and see something that looked unusual and be able to, send it in to us.
Yes, so that was from a storm spotter. We don't know if that was the exact, we don't know if that was the exact funnel cloud that was pulled up, or rather that produced this. But we do know that there is a possibility of the capability of, storms to produce rotation at any time. So that is one of the cells that we are monitoring. That is in northern portions of Indian River County, including Roseland to Sebastian. And then the other active tornado warning that we do have ongoing is in St. Lucie County. And this one, again, is possibly producing some very strong wind gusts. We're seeing the opposition of those winds, some tight cutlets, indicating that there is winds going in at opposite directions. So I want to show you right along here, if you live in Port St. Lucie, off to your east, between Walton. This is where we could have possible maybe a quick spin up or even just that brief rotation. So this is the area that we are going to be monitoring here. Again, this is what we're looking for. You want to see what's going towards the radar, what's going away from the radar to indicate that there is some brief rotation. And once again, this is right along a US 1, I believe. And also, and this includes US 1 from Walton. Yes, so it's exactly US 1 if you do live in Southeast Godwin Drive along Dixie Highway. This is where you want to be indoors. Make sure you're away from any windows. Areas impacted include possibly Jensen Beach up to Eden, Walton, Ancona, River Park. We are under this ongoing tornado warning all the way through 6 p.m. So just about 10 more minutes of this. If we do have any brief rotation, it would be right along here. This is US 1 between Port St. Lucie, also Walton. This is in St. Lucie County, just to the north of Stewart. So Stewart, you guys are pretty much dry and quiet. And then as we take a look, we are seeing that very heavy rainfall. Still a lot of lightning strikes. We're talking 58 lightning strikes just within the past 15 minutes. So I'm going to switch things over back to the reflectivity so you can see the heavy rainfall and where it is and where it is heading. So this is an ongoing tornado warning, and this is in St. Lucie County, a very populated area. We do have several active severe thunderstorm warnings that were just issued within Palm Beach County. This one cell right here, just along Belle Glade. This one's moving off towards the northeast. So areas impacted, Loxahatchee. If you live in Wellington, you could see some winds and gusting winds from this cell right here. Lake Okeechobee, we're starting to see a lot more activity building in. And very quiet still along from Hope Sound all the way down to Boca Raton. All the activity is inland, so if you look out to the west, you're going to see those dark clouds. So back up towards the area that we are under a severe thunderstorm warning that was about to expire. We're also under that tornado warning, also set to expire within the next 10 minutes. And this cell has been very ambitious. Again, it's issued ongoing warnings over the same location.
And so Brooke, sorry to interject. Right. I know that you're trying to get the information out there to our viewers. What kind of conditions are we talking about when we look at these different kinds of cells? This one that's very active right now up in St. Lucie County.
Well, right now we're seeing some very strong opposing wind gusts. So if you do live along Eden, Jensen Beach, we could be dealing with some hail. This is indicated in our impact tracker. You can see this area. So let me highlight some portions where we do have the opportunity if you are, close to a window, or which is not advised, but there is the possibility of some hail. If you do live along Eden to Walton, Ancona, also Collins Park Estates. So this hail is about half an inch rather. So some pretty big, severe sized hail. And this is moving off towards the east. So this is right along. We have US 1 right here. And this is slowly inching its way off towards the east. So Jensen Beach, you're going to see some of that heavy rainfall activity pretty shortly. Also, again, this severe thunderstorm warning and also tornado warning do expire within the next 10 minutes. So again, this cell has been very active and has produced quite, the show has produced a lot of heavy rainfall, strong winds. In fact, I can show you, let's see, just how much rain has possibly fallen just within the last 3 hours. So from Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce, all the way to Collins Park Estates, maybe, we're looking at Sunland Gardens, about 2-3 inches of rainfall. So it's some very heavy rain along with it. St. Lucie off towards your west, about 3 inches of rain. Sunland Gardens, also about the same story. Collins Park, which is under the tornado warned area.
And of course, last week we had all of that heavy rain just coming through our area. Of course, most of it was in the southern portion of our our coverage area rather, Palm Beach County, and then some, parts of Broward County really got hit hard. But on the Treasure Coast as well, they were dealing with that rain. So what does this, almost 3 inches of rainfall in the last 3 hours, what does that look like for them up there?
I mean, it's really beneficial since we are under those extreme drought conditions. So all the rain that we're going to see and acquire during this very wet week of April will be very beneficial. So right now we're looking at the rotation tracker, another feature on our Barron device. So if we did have any brief rotation, it was right along Port St. Lucie and along St. Lucie County. So this is the tornado warned area. Now we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued, and this includes Jensen Beach down to Palm Lake, Stewart. So I just mentioned the very heavy rain that was inching its way southward. So it looks like this cell that we do have is on the south moving motion, and they might actually expire the tornado warning pretty shortly. But we do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued, Jade. So I know whether we have a lot of news and stuff to talk about, but right now this cell is producing very strong winds, a lot of lightning, and also very heavy rainfall, and the possibility, we've been talking about, of some rotation. So let's get another look there on the other cell that we have been watching that will expire also around 6:15 p.m. This is another tornado warned area, and this will be expiring soon. This is in northern portions of Indian River County. This includes Sebastian, Highway A1A, US 1, Roseland Road. If you live along these areas, you want to be indoors. Cummings, also stay inside. North Beach, Orchid, stay inside. Wabasso, very bad conditions outdoors. You want to stay indoors. Let's get a zoomed out look over in Jensen Beach, where you guys are the next ones to be dealing with this very heavy rainfall and possible maybe a quick spin up if there is still one being indicated. But something that I want to show you is how strong some of these winds are being picked up. It's a 56-mile-per-hour wind gust there near North River Shore. So that is pretty much severe weather standard with the winds when it comes up to that. So it should be right around 60 miles per hour, which is what we've been talking about and preparing for over the week. And then we do have, again, some very good indication that there is a good amount of wind shear, which means winds going in the opposite direction. So this is once again in that St. Lucie County area, Port Sewell, Stewart, get ready to see some heavy rain. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they, Jade, extend this severe thunderstorm warning even further south.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, you had been working on this or looking at this rather earlier in the week, because this is really something, I saw your emails yesterday. You were like, okay, we're going to stay here at the station. We're going to get here early. We're going to stay late after the show just to make sure that we're keeping people updated about what could potentially be happening. And now we're actually seeing these warnings roll in, the thunderstorm warnings and the tornado warnings.
Right. So Justin, I just looked at the chat. So the 2 tornado warnings that we did have are now canceled, are now expired. So those will go away. But we do have the ongoing new severe thunderstorm warning that includes Jensen Beach. So Jade, we're going to send things back over to you, get to programming just a little bit. But already heard a little bit of that thunder out here in Palm Beach Gardens. We can hear that outside.
Yeah, we definitely can. We hadn't heard that while this entire time that you were
just talking your ears off.
Yeah,
but we want to keep you guys safe and just make sure that you're away from any windows and doors, because these cells are very robust. They're able and capable of producing, as we saw, rotation. So let's get back to the programming.
All right, thank you, Brooke. Thanks for keeping us updated. Sure. We'll be right back.